Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking all about the 2008 New Mexico State Quarter and going over everything that could make these worth more money than 25 cents. It's probably going to be a variety, and there's a ton of different varieties for this New Mexico State Quarter, where you can look closely, see if it's got a characteristic. Maybe it's like a little extra ray in the back on the sun symbol, or something else outside of that. Basically, we'll be doing that, talk about errors, conditional rarity, and really anything that somebody needs to know. And it'll also be accessible if you don't know a ton about coins. So let's get right into this video, tell you everything, again, that you want to know about this coin. So here we have the New Mexico Statehood Quarter. I'll give you a moment to check out the Land of Enchantment. We have the Zia sun symbol over the outline of the state, but we're going to be going over some of the different die varieties. There's no shortage of those. These are ones where if you're looking closer on the coin, you might be able to find some characteristics that make the coin valuable. If you'd like to pause here and get a little more info on the series, you can, but we'll start. There's a fair amount of these minor doubled ear errors, and these are on the front of the coin, just Washington's ear. You can see right there, it's almost like a second one is protruding, and it's sort of more common to the Washington statehood quarters. We're going to see a couple different manifestations. Here's a second one where it protrudes out to the bottom, and I don't want to go in depth on each one of them just because there are a fair amount of ones that are found on this New Mexico quarter, and it really does stand out because not only are there going to be a fair amount of these different ones, and that one's pretty minor, but still significant and important to distinguish from some of the other varieties. This one I like a little bit more. It comes through strong. This sixth last one, not anything super crazy, but then I think that there's also interesting coin because there's so much on the reverse, and there's about 12 different similar varieties. I didn't want to go through each and every one of them, but you're going to be looking in that sun symbol in all of those cases. You see in this one it's a pretty pronounced separation there, sort of at the bottom of the Zia sun symbol. Here it's the same sort of area, but it's a very different actual doubling in each of these dies. It's not every single die, it's still somewhat rare to find these, but it just was a recurring problem, and on the hundreds of millions that were coins that were struck, a fair amount are released with these different markers that people pay up for. If you've got these clear photos, these ones are on the Denver mint and the satin finish. These are not necessarily, but some of the satin finish coins here, similar situation where it's just a clear spread in the bottom of that Zia sun symbol. Now the next one after that, we're going to go through some conditional rarities, and then we'll get into the one error that is really interesting. But you can look in the quarter on both sides. $1,500 for high mint state 67 plus. These are really nice graded coins coming out of PCGS. It's not easy to attain those grades, but if you're super confident, you have a good eye, it's going to have to be almost perfect fields with no distracting marks whatsoever, but it can pay off in that 67 plus with a cushion to fall back to mint state 67 where it's still going to have some serious value. 66 plus and below means you're going to actually lose money. So you do have to be careful with these. And the threshold is going to be a little bit higher on the Denver mint ones that just came that much nicer out of the mint. A little bit over $1,000 is the going rate for a mint state 68, and 67 you'll make a little bit of money. Below that, again, you're in the red. There's also some satin finish ones. These were coming out in some of the different sets that were produced, and there are a few varieties known on them, so you can check those. I think they're more prevalent on Denver mint, but the 69 grades can be about $350. These are virtually flawless at that point, and I don't really recommend too much of the submitting, but I do want to just put it out there and explain that if you have perfect condition coins, you don't have to have one of those varieties where you're looking closely to see if it's there. There's also the regular proof coins. They're almost never worth submitting, but the ones that are really cool and pretty rare, because in 2008 the mint, while they might have some die varieties very tight on their errors policing, this one though somehow escaped the mint. It is a reverse clad layer missing, sort of a fan favorite on this type of coin in the state quarters, where people love it, especially when it's the reverse as opposed to the obverse that's missing. $720 was the price for this 2019 coin. If you're a New Mexico collector, something like this doesn't come up too often, and people bid this one up really, really pretty. I mean, it's just a rare coin, so I think that was reflected in the price, and that's what we're going to come away with here. It's the only error that I could find on this one. I'm sure there's some minor ones available, but really the story is going to be these double die reverses, as well as a nice suite here of pretty minor but still fun to search for if that's your cup of tea, doubled ears on the front. And there's some other ones where it's much more prevalent, North Carolina being an example, but interesting coins all around. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like the video, comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and some other social media platforms. You can also go to my main channel website, treasuretownYT.com, to learn more about the channel and sort of stay in contact. I also will eventually host all of these videos on coinsmetalscards.com, which will be both news, marketplace, and coin information. I do have the goal of eventually getting pretty much every US coin, date, mint mark, denomination on the channel with a similar video to the one that you just watched, and that will likely all be hosted there. And then I also have treasuretowncoins.com, which is sort of my coin dealing wing, coin dealing only entity that is a little bit less focused on content production. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos. I also have videos that are not just the date, mint mark, denomination recap in this format, so you can check some of those out, and I'll have fun seeing you there.